Dude, you're gonna run Nadav, the New York City Marathon. This is rad.
Look at Nadav's face. He's really like, what the f- is happening?
Wow.
You can't welch now, bro. Isn't that when you back out? You can't back out.
Yeah, that's the word for it.
What are you contemplating right now? Because I see your wheels really turning.
How awesome you're going to look.
The next 5 months are going to be brutal, and I'm going to go through a lot of pain.
Yes.
But it's going, but with top tier professionals
You
around,
have help.
Yeah.
should be the greatest time of my life.
That's how I like to hear it.
Well, if it makes you feel better, you're going to lose $1,000 later in the week with any that bet you have.
Not a chance here. I'm going to take your money.
That podcast was the beginning of the end of Nadav's time at YMH Studios. From that point onward, the atmosphere at YMH seemed to take a downward turn, and so have the numbers. The podcast with Rob Eiler aired in July of 2023 and, in my opinion, played a significant role in Nadav's departure. This was the episode where Rob was introduced as the newest addition to YMH Studios.
We're very excited to let you guys know you can find right here on the YMH YouTube channel every Thursday with the new podcast, Not Today, Pal, with Rob and Jamie Lynn Sigler. It is Rob Eiler, everybody.
First off, I don't know who thought it would be a good business move to let the Soprano siblings have a podcast. They were on a hit TV show 20 years ago. Nobody cares what they have to say. In that particular episode, it appeared as though Nadav was pressured into committing to run the New York City Marathon, an event scheduled for the first Sunday in November. Fast forward 2 months after the Rob Eiler podcast to September, and Nadav shared on his personal YouTube channel that he was parting ways with YMH Studios, never offering a clear explanation.
I'm announcing that I'm officially resigning from my position at YMH Studios. I will no longer be producing Two Bears, One Cave, Your Mom's House podcast, Dr. Drew After Dark, everything at YMH Studios. I've been there for more than 7 years, and it's just time for me to go.
Because he didn't give a clear answer, it left fans wondering about the true reason behind his departure. A lot of people have referenced the podcast with Rob Eiler and how that seemed to set in motion a chain of events that led to Nadav's exit from YMH Studios. When watching this episode, it doesn't appear like they were going to ask Nadav to run the marathon. It just came up organically. It all started when Rob asked Any if he thought he could run a marathon.
Because a marathon is like 3.5 hours of running.
Yeah, whatever.
You think? How much money do you think? All right, here's the question: how much money do you think it would take for you to run a marathon?
How much money would it take for me to run a marathon?
To jog for 3.5 hours.
The reason Rob brought up the marathon question is because they were talking about the basketball game YMH did between their president Ryan and Any. Somehow that conversation led to them discussing the New York City Marathon. Rob and Any start to negotiate, and they ask Any how much it would actually take.
Probably like $5K. Yeah, that's for like 5,000. I'd do it for that. If it was $5,000 free, like I'm not betting it, then yeah. If it was we're betting, it wouldn't. I'd need to bet with someone that is kind of relative to my our bankrolls kind of our finances kind of match.
Why is that important?
Because I needed to hurt.
What if you had to put?
You needed to hurt them.
I needed to hurt one of us.
What if you had to? Well, it would hurt you if you. What if you had to put up 5,000 to my 10,000?
Oh, so 2 to 1.
Yeah.
10,000.
Oh, damn, you have been gambling. You've been balling gambling. 2 to 1 right off the damn. What's going on?
This is my favorite episode.
Nadav liked it when they weren't discussing him running the marathon. He actually said it was possibly his favorite episode. This is why I think the conversation was organic, because his attitude changed really quick when they bring up the idea of him running the marathon. The conversation switched from Any running it to Nadav because Rob didn't think it was a safe bet to bet against Any. Also, because Any had been training hard to play the basketball game, he wanted to take a break, and running the marathon meant he would have to keep training for an additional 5 months. Any did agree to do it, but he hit Rob with big Any energy and said he would do it if they each bet 20 grand, but that was too much for Rob.
Okay, so what are we upping the price then?
What do you want to do?
20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
So I put up 20 and you put up 20?
Yeah, which I can't afford, but yeah.
That's I think for $20,000, do it.
I think so too.
That's the problem. $20,000. I mean, I can't run a marathon, and I don't need the money, like you said. And I think I'd run a marathon for $20,000. $20,000 is a lot
now
of
it's up to
fucking
you.
money.
Now you're the guy on the line.
There's no doubt in my mind Any would have won that bet. I think Rob knows it too. That's why he was so hesitant. I think anybody who is offered 20 grand to run a marathon and given 4 months to prepare would do it. What's funny is you can see Nadav's face change whenever the big money is brought up. He actually looks stunned. I think Rob saw Nadav's facial expression change and got the idea of switching the bet over to him, thinking he would have a better chance of winning if the bet was against Nadav instead of Any.
Now, if Nadav wants to put up some money if
Oh.
Nadav
I thought you were going to say if he could run
can
it
run
too.
a marathon.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
he's
saying.
Oh,
If
Nadav.
Nadav
I like
now
this better.
You're out of
Now,
I will get in on that.
That's a bet.
to put up till November.
And you will be.
And I get a full 6 hours.
What? No, you're
No.
gonna be svelte by then,
yeah,
bro.
4 months, homie. You got
That
4
one,
months.
that one, maybe the Burt time because it's got to be different.
Yeah,
you can't give him
that's-
the.
But again, he has 4 months. He could lose even if he
Guys,
lost. Even if he
I got
lost.
bad knees, a bad back. I can't fucking run for
I
26
love
miles.
this. Even if he lost 10 pounds a month up until then, what is that? 40, 50 pounds. And
Yeah.
10 pounds a month is not hard to lose if you have a money objective at the end. And
He loves money.
How much would you? How much would
I
you
do
bet?
love money.
How much would you say? Would you put up if November 5th, the New York City Marathon, old Jay Bird flies up there, and he says, You're giving me 5.5 hours."
Well, 5.5 is a long time. That's crazy.
You can see Tom's eyes light up when Nadav is brought up. When they mention Burt Kreischer time, that's in reference to the time Burt ran his marathon, which is a good metric to use because if Burt can run a marathon, then basically anybody should be able to, especially if they have 4 months to prepare. From the very beginning of the wager, Nadav did not seem interested at all. He brought up how his knees and back are not good, and no matter how much he trained, he wouldn't be able to do it. But that didn't stop Rob from pushing it.
If you want to do tomorrow, I'll put up 20,000
No,
that
no,
he
but
can't do.
I've been
about it.
sedentary for 34
Yeah, he's
years.
Yeah,
And
dude.
that's what I'm saying. When you're giving
Likewise.
people 4 months to train for a marathon, I know people who have run a marathon who are not in good shape.
Yeah.
Like it's just a thing where like, because they'll do a
Well, hold
mile
on.
of kind
Well,
of
hold on.
walking and then running.
That's
And then
what
if
I'm
you
saying.
put 20,000
How
at the
much?
end of
What
that-
time limit were you putting this in? What time? What amount of time?
If he has 4 months, I don't even know what month this is, but if he has 4, 5, 6 months to train, I think he should get. And again, we don't even know what that means. The average, right? That's the average person in a marathon runs 4.5.
Yeah. So give us a. Come on. What does it work out to?
I would put up 20 to your 20.
For what time limit?
What do you want? Obviously, we could do over the average. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to Burt time. He's like
That's
he was
insane.
He was like drinking beer. I'm giving him 4 months. Burt was doing it drinking
Okay, so
beer.
would you do it? Would you do 5 hours?
I'd like to get a little under there. I would give you a
I want
little
the limit.
I would give you a little over.
I want the 6.
It's funny because Nadav started the clip by saying he's been sedentary for 30 years and there is no possible way he could do it. Then by the end of the conversation when they are talking figures, he says he wants the limit of 6 hours. I can't imagine how this must feel as an employee. Nadav was a producer of YMH and Two Bears One Cave. I'm sure he had to help clip episodes and post them to all the YMH social media accounts and everything else being a producer entails. Then the new guy, Rob, starts trying to make a wager on if you can run a marathon. I feel like he was really pressured into it in the moment. Not just because they were on air, but also because they were dangling a large sum of money in front of his face.
I want the 6.
No, that's crazy, dude.
No,
Again,
it's a lot of walking. It's like a
I
walking
could do
marathon.
that.
bro, if you wanted to do
Yeah, we're different, Christina.
Yeah, but
I got
I'm
like
not
150
ashamed.
pounds on you.
if you want to do
but
it in
I'm like-
2 weeks, I'll give you Burt's time. If you could run a marathon in 2 weeks the same time as Burt, and I'll put up 20,000 to your 10,000.
This is going to do more damage to me than Daddy DeMarco.
Not when
Like,
you're
I'm
getting
not-
not when I'm coming in with a 20 grand in clip for
I'm
you.
going to be bedridden for 2 years if I try and do
Dude,
this shit.
how good would you feel if
I
on
like this better when any was running. Why can't we bet on any run?
how good would you
man, you
feel
ran,
if
bro.
on the
wanna
if
get
on
out
the
from
first episode of my podcast I have to break out $20,000?
It's pretty exciting.
Thud it onto the table, and I'm like, here's your 20.
All right, I'll do another 20,000 if you do it in the 2 weeks.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so or I'll make it 25. So that's $45,000 you get
if
you,
I do it in 5.5,
in 2 weeks.
That's Burt's
Yeah.
time.
there's no way. My back hurts right now.
Okay, will you do 450 as the time limit in November? You have 450 is under the 5.
No,
In
see, but
November.
listen, here's the thing. If I'm
That's a
giving
lot of
him
time.
5 months, I think he can get to the average.
Yeah.
I think he could get to the average.
I think you're out
He's
of your mind.
acting. Nadav is acting. Don't trust
Again,
him.
okay, what do you...
He's acting like
I
he
am
can't.
not.
What do
I
you
promise
know
I'm
roughly
not.
what you weigh? roughly?
Yeah, I'm probably close to my fattest. I'd say I'm probably close to 260 right now.
Congrats.
You can tell Nadav is serious by the tone he takes with Christina. Rob is a smart gambler though. He doesn't want to just give Nadav 20K. But when Tom brings up that he would put in another 25 grand, bringing the total to 45 grand, there is no possible way that any logical human could turn that down. But Rob still isn't willing to throw in the 20 grand.
Can you,
Okay,
can
there
you
it is.
shock the world? and
No, I
become
can't.
average in 5
But
months?
wait, but here's the thing. Okay,
What?
this is a very specific. All right, but this is a very.
Sorry, I don't mean to raise my voice.
It's
I'm
all
just
right.
gambling
It's
and
okay. You're very fired up.
For over 20 minutes, they keep negotiating back and forth. Nadav is never interested because he doesn't think he could get it done in under 5.5 hours. Rob even throws out the idea that Nadav has nothing to wager. Tom will pay him if he succeeds. Nadav is not having it though. He even apologizes for raising his voice, thinking he's getting too loud.
The point is this: it's not. It's the bet doesn't work for anyone if it's that time. You got to pull it down some and be willing to agree to it if you want this bet to happen.
I've had a knee injury where I'm afraid to even make contact with the ground.
That's great. This is how the bet gets exciting. So we'll put you in some. I got some great knee braces. We'll get you the top tier stuff.
You can do that.
Guys,
And
I'm not into this bet.
Nadav, hold on.
If it's not
you're
5.5,
free-
I'm not even considering.
You're free rolling though. He's just putting up 10K. If you do it,
I'm gonna get hurt, Rob. My body cannot take running a marathon.
Hold on. What
I
if
just train for
hold
4
on.
months?
What if you beat the average woman's time? You can't beat a woman?
That's an extra. No.
That's a lot of extra time.
It's a lot of extra time.
Oh yeah, an extra 26 minutes. Oh yeah.
You get a couple
lot
miles.
of women could beat me, Christina. Sorry, I'm not meaning to raise my voice.
It's weird that he apologizes because if he was friends with Tom and Christina, you would think he wouldn't feel the need to do that. Which also makes me think that the atmosphere at YMH was such that you had to walk on eggshells, which is never a good environment to work in. They look up the average time to run the marathon and it's 4 hours and 20 minutes, and they all agree that is still too fast for Nadav. Tom says he will give Nadav knee braces like that's actually going to help someone who hasn't ever trained, let alone train for a marathon. You can tell Nadav is getting more aggravated. Finally, Tom says that he will give Nadav his trainer and fund all of the resources.
So what about this proposal? Will you have guidance like the
We're
entire way,
handing it to you.
including physical therapists, like medical personnel, to nutritionists, the whole
cells
thing, the whole
injected
thing?
every fucking-
Everything, bro.
Yeah.
I wish I knew we were going to do this, but we could have brought in a brick of cash.
Yeah.
And just had it right here, and he'd be salivating.
I mean,
This is once in a
completely
lifetime.
funding.
Once in a lifetime.
I mean, that's not an easy no.
It shouldn't be an easy
If you
no.
had one
Can I,
chance.
can I tell you something? You're never going to get this kind of offer again in your life, bro.
My brain is folded into such a pretzel right now.
Would you
I
take it? You better lose yourself. And come on, let's fucking motivate this dude,
It's like
bro.
my body saying no, but my mind is
Just
saying,
do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
My body's telling me yes.
You want to get healthy.
completely funded. I mean,
You want to get healthy. You don't want to die this
completely
way.
funded Bert Kreischer time. Let's go.
What's that?
Completely funded Bert Kreischer time.
Completely funded Bert Kreischer time.
You're
Or
saying the
split the- or
time that you
split the
guys aren't
difference.
cool with. Yeah.
Yeah, doing it at 4:20 still seems pretty crazy to me.
Okay, let's compromise on the time.
But wait, hold on though. Wait, hold on. Now I'm kind of on their side.
Yeah.
Average time is wild. If you have his trainer, to help
5
you?
months?
Come on, man. If I had that trainer, I'd be top 10%. You kidding me? You could
You
do
have
that
the
shit.
most elite of everything, bro.
Oh
You have
my
Tom
God.
Segura's resources right now. Think about that.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
Hold on.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
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 What's the time?
The average time, 4:21.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Way to save it, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Basco wins. Let's go, baby.
All right.
Nadav was adamant that he didn't want to run the marathon, but they finally convinced him. You can tell he's not happy about it. At one point in the conversation, they were talking about 45 grand being the payout for Nadav to do it, but I feel like the peer pressure he was getting from everyone forced him to say that just getting healthy was good enough.
Dude, you're going to run Nadav, the New York City Marathon. This
Yes.
is rad.
Look at Nadav's face. He's
Yeah.
really like,
So
what the f- is
heated.
happening?
Wow.
You can't welch now, bro. Isn't that
do
when
it.
you back out? You
Yeah.
can't back
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
What do you-
that's the word for it.
What are you contemplating right now? Because I
Yeah.
see your wheels really turning.
How awesome you're going to look.
The next 5 months are going to be brutal, and I'm going to go through a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's going. But with top tier professionals
You have
around,
help.
Yeah.
should be the greatest time of my life.
That's how I like to hear it. All
Well,
right.
if it makes you feel better, you're going to lose $1,000 later in the week with any that bet you have.
Not
a
a chance, dude. I'm going to take your money.
After this episode, they did a follow-up on Nadav's training. Nadav is still concerned because of past injuries, and basically because he has never trained at all, let alone told that he has 4 months to get in shape for one of the hardest endurance events you can do as an athlete. A month later, Nadav posted the video to his own YouTube page saying that he is leaving YMH and didn't give a clear reason other than saying he's leaving. YMH Studios has taken a major hit too. Their numbers are down on YMH and Two Bears, the Clips channels especially. It looks like whoever is in charge of thumbnails is now going completely overboard. 3 years ago, their thumbnails were simpler, the titles were better, and the views were triple to what they are now. Not to mention, Dr. Drew left YMH. I'm not sure if it was a money thing or what, but he did like a post that said the ship is sinking when referring to YMH Studios. A lot of fans were commenting on the episodes that didn't have Nadav in the booth, and there was a clear lack of back and forth. Tom has even mentioned that life without Nadav at the studio is different.
Are those fake laughs that they do, or do
No.
they find that funny?
No, that was real. These guys don't fake laugh.
Okay.
No, they don't
All
fake
right.
laugh. It's you'll hear a lot of silence.
Really?
That's how you can tell.
They laugh. The last time I was here, when I was on your mom, they laughed a lot.
Well, that was Capital J, but he left.
Did he die too?
He looks like he's going to die, but
Okay.
he moved on.
Well, all right.
He has a very powerful, mighty laugh, and he was like a big laugher.
Okay.
But he left, and you can feel the hole.
I think the biggest reason for the loss of Nadav and the recent downfall of YMH is directly related to Tom. Matt and Shane have never changed their podcast. It's still just two dudes and a microphone. Sometimes they have a guest, but they didn't try and turn their podcast into a quote-unquote professional studio. And they're raking in nearly $500,000 a month on Patreon alone. Not to mention that Tom called out poor people for leaving negative comments. I don't think he realized that the people he called poor are the majority of his fan base. Even if he was doing a bit, it didn't feel like
Every
it.
time we talk about like a watch or a car, I'll get a bunch of messages from losers that try to tell me that I'm making them feel bad about their situation. You're in control of your own situation and your own feelings. So don't put it on me that you feel bad that I have something that, but I'm struggling with rent this month. Figure it out, okay? Like, don't make my life be a problem for your life. If you don't like it, guess what? You're not going to be able to control what people talk about. People are going to talk about things that you don't have for the rest of your life. So you can decide like, okay, I won't, fine, don't listen to me, don't listen to that person anymore, but you have to control your own feelings, okay? It's not on other people to make sure they don't talk about a topic that makes you feel bad, all right? Like I lost 20 grand gambling this weekend. Go ahead.
Not only did he call out the majority of his fan base, but he doubled down by going back to Twitter, calling a flight attendant a derogatory term, then proceeded to melt down and comment back at anyone who told him he was in the wrong. He's since deleted every tweet from October. Then, to add insult to injury, he came out with a 69-minute special, which may be the worst thing he or YMH has ever produced. That's all I really have. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video, or if you didn't like it, smash that thumbs down and tell me how much I suck.